And welcome back. In this short tutorial, I'm going to talk about the GlobalKeyPressed signal or event in the Wt library. So basically, I have a Komodo Edit project, and it is called Key Event. I probably should have called it KeyPressed, but the project is called Key Event. And basically, what we're going to tackle is the GlobalKeyPressed event that is part of the Wt application object in the Wt library. So what I have here is a Wt application object, and we've created a Wt text widget, and we call it box 1. We've added it to the application root. We've resized it. It has a standard length of the page. The height is 960 pixels. We've set the text alignment to center, and this is it's kind of like the project of when we did the mouse moved. Basically, it's a blue background with white text. And then we have where I've set the background, of course, to blue, the foreground color to white. And again, I've resized the widget. Standard length of the page, 960 pixels is the height. And then the key to all of this is the GlobalKeyPressed event or signal. And what we have is we have our GlobalKeyPressed signal, and we've connected our function or slot, and it is called keyPress. And basically it takes a argument of a key event, and then we have to determine what are we going to do with the event. So basically the keyPressed is you can capture what keys are pressed onto the keyboard. Now with the Wt library, you are not able to capture every single event or every single key press, but you can capture a good number of them. So if I go ahead and let me see if I can bring this up. This is basically the project that is up and running. I'm actually not going to run through a compile. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. So we have our key pressed, or our function called key press. And like I said, it takes in a key event. And if you look at the Wt documentation, see if I can bring that up. If we look at the key event, here's the key event class, and you have where you can actually get the actual key. It says you can return the key code. You can return the key code or return the key code that was pressed or released. And basically, that's all we're doing. We're just trying to get the actual key that was pressed. Now, there's more to that class than just the key that was pressed, and we'll get to that in another tutorial. But if you look at this, you actually can get access to the key. And if you look what I did here, all I did was I wanted to get access to the box. So I got access to the global Wt application object, access to root, access the first widget that was added to the application root, and of course you only have one, which is our Wt text box or Wt text widget, and that we just called it box 1 again. And then we put the key that we're going to access in a switch event. Now you can do an if-else statement, but that would be a ton of if-else statements for this example. And basically, if we go back to the documentation, you can see that key is an enumeration, and these are all the key codes. You have an unknown key, which we have quite a few of those, and then you have a slew of keys that are available to you as the programmer to access. So we have our function keys, our up arrows, down arrows, which you cannot capture. But that's fine though. There's workarounds to that. You can capture all your alphabetical keys, and you can capture your numeric keys. Now if we look at the example I've basically just copy and pasted every single enumeration that is available for you to access. And I just say, okay, for each key that's accessed in this switch statement, we can say, okay, case key enter. Okay, we're going to print off or set box 1, set its text to you press the enter key. If we press like the space bar, it's going to print out you press the space key. And so if we just look at the actual example, So we already have it up and running. Here's our blue background, and it has white text. Let's just say we click on the space bar. And let me see if I can do a refresh. There it is. Okay, we clicked on the space bar. You press the space key. If I click on A, you press the A key. You press on Q, you press the Q key, and so on. So you could actually map the entire keyboard, as you can see, like I'm doing here. I think that's why I wasn't able to see the space bar, because it actually scrolls down. But as you can see, you can map all your keys, and of course you got some like, well, that's the enter key. There's the enter key again. Click on the num lock and you turn on the numeric keys. But if you click on something like insert, I notice is kind of weird, because if you click on the minus key on the keypad, the numeric keypad calls it the insert key. If you click on the end button, that doesn't do anything. If you click on the question mark, that doesn't do anything. The greater than key on my keyboard gives you the delete key, which is not. But as you see, for the most part, you can capture the majority of the keys that are on the keyboard. So basically, all you're doing is you're accessing the GlobalKeyPressed event. And if we go, let's go to the documentation on that really quick. Just go to the Wt application object. And of course, you could do this with the actual widget, and I'll show an example of how to do it with an actual widget. This you use for, let's do a search, GlobalKeyPressed. So basically, it emits or it fires an event when you actually press the keyboard. So the application receives key events when no widget currently has focus. In our case, look in the example, no widget has focus, because we just accessed it through the Wt application object. So that means we can just press on the keyboard. None of this has focus. We don't have any text boxes or buttons or anything on the screen. So when we just click on the keys, we can get access to the keyboard. Now I will show in another tutorial how to actually use the key events that are part of the Wt widget, and how you can actually implement the key pressed. So that's basically how you would use the Wt application GlobalKeyPressed in the Wt library. I hope this tutorial has been informative, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.